Good morning, 8th grade. Hey, hope you're all doing well. Today's the first lesson while you're gone, and what we're looking at is the volume of a cylinder. But before we go there, let's just review. One-dimensional measurements, like, for instance, length, just measures how long something is. Two-dimensional measurements are what we call area, and they measure the length and the width. So 3 by 2 area would be 6 units squared. Okay, because if this was 3 units and 2 units, we'd multiply 3 units times 2 units, and we would get 3 times 2, and units times units is square units. And so in area, we would use that to talk about, square feet for carpeting, or maybe for how much paint you need to cover a wall, or for how much ceiling tiles. You're talking about flat things. Now you get to three-dimensional measurements, and you're talking about volume. And usually all we have to do to find the volume would be to take the area of the base and times it by the height. For instance, if we had this 3 by 2, and it was now, let's say, 4 feet tall, we would multiply 3 times 2 to get this one measurement, to get the base measurement. It would be 6 square feet, and then we times that by 4, and we get 24 cubic units of volume. Let's look at an easier example. Let's just take that 2 by 3, and let's just make it 1 unit tall. Just 1 unit. What that would do, we take the base, divide it up. It's really hard to draw, I didn't realize. But we would get these cubes, these cubic units. So let me show you a better picture. I'm going to play a PowerPoint that I've made here. Slideshow from beginning. Okay, so just to go over the concepts and the skills. Okay, by the end of the unit, we're going to find the volume of a cylinder, cone, and sphere given a radius and a height. Okay, I hate memorization, but you need to memorize these formulas. There are 3 of them. And I'll get to the first one in a minute, and then today's Alex's practice using it. You'll be able to find the missing measurement, the height, the radius, or the diameter when I give you the volume, and that'll probably be next week. We'll use the formulas to solve a variety of real-world problems. So this week we're just going to go one day at a time with the formulas for each individual thing. We'll have a quiz on it at the end of the week. Next week we'll start using those formulas to do a little more advanced things. So we're going to start off easy since you're not here, okay? So let's think about if we had a pool, and that pool was 3 meters by 2 meters. That pool, the area of the pool would be 3 times 2, or 6 square meters. Now, if that pool was 2 meters deep, the volume would be 3 times 2, which is 6, times 2 meters. So the volume would be 3 times 2 times 2. So it would be 12 meters to the 3rd power. See, we would do 3 meters times 2 meters times 2 meters. We're talking about if it was 2 meters deep. I'm not even going to try and draw it. Just imagine you're looking straight down on it from the top, and it's 1 meter, 2 meters deep. Now, if it was 3 meters deep, it would be 3 meters times 2 meters times 3 meters. 3 times 2 times 3. 18 meters cubed, or cubic meters deep. Okay, that should be review from 7th grade. What we want to get to is this one. So if this is a round pool, then the area of the pool is going to be pi times the radius squared. Okay, so if the radius is 1, this would be pi times 1 squared. If the radius is 2, this would be pi times 2 squared, which is 4 pi, which is, sometimes in math it will say use 3.14 instead of pi, so you'll do that math. You will need a calculator, and there are calculators online available. If you absolutely need to, you can buy one on Amazon or eBay or in Walmart or in 100,000 other places. It's the Casio, remember, FX 115ES Plus. Okay, if you absolutely have to, you can email me. I can leave one at the desk for you. You can pick it up. Okay? Anyway, let's go back here. So this is the formula for the volume, or for the area of a circle. Pi times r squared. So area equals pi times r squared. You may remember perimeter equals 2 times pi times r, or pi times the diameter. That's perimeter. Notice there's no power listed here, so it's the first power. It's one-dimensional. The perimeter is the measure of the length of this circle. The area is the measure of the surface that's flat, two-dimensional. The volume is simply going to be the area of the base times r, times h, times the height, the volume. In other words, the area of the base is pi r squared. Pi times r squared times h. This is the formula that you have to use today for the cylinder problems. So this one here would be pi times 2 squared. Let's see. Oh, in this case, let's make this a 1 to start. So this is going to be 1 squared times the height, which would be 2 meters. So this would be 2 pi, or 2 times 3.14, which is 6.28. Feel free to use your pause, your rewind buttons, because I don't want to go too fast. So if this radius is 1, then this would be pi times 1 squared times, this one is 3 meters deep, times 3. Pi times 1 squared times 4 meters deep. Pi times 2, or pardon me, it's still 1 deep. 1 radius times 10 meters deep. Okay, any depth, pi times r squared times any depth. Okay, so let's look at some examples for you. Okay, hopefully you understand, but if not, once we do a couple of examples, it should become pretty easy. So here we have the cylinder. This slide, very important, shows you the radius, shows you the height, So here we have volume equals pi r squared h. Every problem I do, I write the formula. This is how I memorized it. Hopefully you're going to take the time, use your Alex notebook, and you're going to write the formula. And so then underneath it, you're going to put into the formula. Pi is a constant, even though it's an irrational number. In this case, r is 3 squared, and h is 5. So you're going to do, you can do this in your calculator. 3 squared is 9 times 5 is 45 pi, and then the units, inches to the third power, or cubic inches. That's a three-dimensional measurement. Remember volume, it's how much fits inside there, okay? If you came over here, again, volume equals pi r squared h. So the volume of this cylinder equals pi times 2.5 squared times h, which is 7. Oh, and you're saying, oh, but that's a length. No, it's a height. It's just laying on the side instead of standing up. Okay, and again, you're going to put this in your calculator. You're going to get an answer that has pi in it. Okay, now the Alex problems say use 3.14 instead of pi. So instead of pi, you're going to put 3.14 times 2.5 squared times 7. You're going to push equals, and you're going to get a number. Let's see. 3.14 times 2.5 squared times 7 equals, and if you're doing it with me, you get 1099 over 8, or 137.375 yards to the third power, or cubic yards. Okay? So, show you another example or two. This one here, diameter. And again, if I went too fast, you pause that video, rewind it. Okay? Here, they didn't tell us the radius, they told us the diameter. So we have to know that a radius is half of a diameter. So in this case, the radius is going to be 4.4. So the volume is going to equal, if they say use 3.14 instead of pi, we use 3.14 times the radius squared times the height. And this is all going to be centimeters to the third power. So 3.14 times 4.4 squared times 9 equals, oh, get a crazy fraction. SROD says 547.1136. That would be volume of a cylinder. Kids, email me if you have any specific questions. I'm working on very quickly getting an online platform where we can talk, and I will be sending you a link to that through Google Classroom. Google Classroom is the place where you're going to find this video, obviously. You're going to find any notes that I've made for you to have. You'll find resources there. Okay, Alex is where you'll find your assignments. And please stay in touch and stay on this daily, because your attendance will be taken based on you did the assignment each day. Your grade is going to continue. We're going to continue just like when you were in class. Okay, I'm looking to use Zoom for office hours. So there'll be an hour for 8th grade every morning and an hour for 9th grade every morning. There'll be an hour in the afternoon for question answer for anyone. Okay, so I'm looking to use Zoom for that. I will send you a link when I get that all set up. Also, Mr. Prine will have to put the app on your iPad. In the meantime, I may begin using Google Chat, which is another way to do a very similar thing. So questions, again, email is the best way. Phone, you won't get me. You know my phone doesn't work. I will try and keep these videos shorter in the future, but just know the most important thing that you need to take away from this lesson today is that the volume of a cylinder is equal to pi times the radius squared times h. And you need to pay attention that the diameter is 2 times the radius, which means the radius is 1/2 of the diameter. So in a problem like this, when they tell you a diameter, you're going to need to know 8.8. There are other problems that will come up where they've drawn the cylinder, and you're going to have to pay attention. If they've drawn a cylinder and they tell you this is 10, you got to pay attention. That's not a radius. So the radius would be 5. Okay? If the line goes all the way across in the picture, then they've drawn the diameter. If the line goes halfway across, that's the radius. All right, thank you, and good luck. Hope to hear from you.